Hello, everyone. Welcome to VOC's special exclusive interview program. Today, I'm honored and delighted to welcome a special guest, Dr. Sasa, Minister of International Cooperation for the National Unity Government, NUG. Thank you, Dr. Sasa, for taking the time to join us despite your busy schedule. Let us begin our interview. So the first question I have for you, sir, is let us begin with explaining what the Ministry of International Cooperation under the NUG is and what its primary responsibilities and activities are.
Yeah, firstly, thank you so much indeed for having me today. NUG was set up as interim governance and also revolutionary governments, meaning that there's a lot of responsibility, a lot of also challenges that we face. So international cooperation is basically it was the created not only this time, even in our strategic government time. There's already international cooperation. And if you look at other governments around the world, there were many governments around the world, a stable government that will help, that will have Ministry of International Cooperation. And so basically our primary role is to, number one, to really create the environment of cooperations between our people, between our ministries, and at the same time, from government to government and organization to organizations, and then also example like agencies to agencies, and then and peoples to people. So it's a very broad scope that we have in our ministry. Example, we engage a lot with the parliamentarians, and the U.S. will be Senate and the House both. And we also engage a lot with UN agencies or international agencies. And also we have got lots of engagement with the peoples to people. Example, when I visit here United States of America, I was visiting Los Angeles, meeting our people there, and San Francisco, I was there, and Indiana, and Chicago, and Michigan, and Ohio, Boston, New York, and Maryland, Washington D.C., a meeting with our people there, and asking them to vote because their vote is their voice, and Washington D.C. need to hear the concerns and the voice of our people. Only that can be done if our people here, the United States of America, speak out and make their voice heard through their senators and congressmen, the representative that represented them here in United to Washington D.C. And also, I was engaging a lot with U.S. governments and officials, and again with a lot of international institutions. Example, I was engaging a lot with the Columbia University in New York because they have got really wonderful professors who are specialized in constitution, federalism, and also conflict resolution mechanism. And then it's a really, really wide range of engagement that we are doing in our ministry. And of course, we also evolve in the advocacy for sanctions to guard the military from international weapons, international financing, and also not to recognize the brutal military junta as the government of Burma. So meaning that their legitimacy cannot be recognized by international community and country. So it's quite a lot of area that we evolve, but it's also very challenging in terms of making just 2.1 or 2, 3 things because our involvement is so much about a very, very big scope. At the same time, I think if I can summarize in 2, 3 things, support for the people of Burma, and then the rejections of the military junta, and then the sanctioning of the military SAC in Burma.
Thank you so much. And I want to ask you another question is One of the primary responsibilities of your ministry is to disrupt financial and arms supply routes, supporting the military junta and dismantle their international connections. So over the past 3 years, how much progress has been made and how successfully have these efforts been?
A lot of that we will not be able to say a lot on what we are doing because of if we talk about what we are doing, our enemy are not sleeping and they are watching us. So I hope that you understand that I will not be able to talk a lot about that. But what I can tell you is that after our the hard work, it's not only us, but so many people evolve for cutting off the weapons of finance to the military dictatorships and the military coup in Burma. An example, if you look at the beginning of 2021 until 2022, every month we can say in approximately there was about 45 to like $50 million worth of weapons and dual use going inside the military pockets. And after all the hard work and everything is done and the report, necessary advocacy to international community and also to the partners of companies that have been working to make that happen. Um, what we know was one point it came down into somewhere like just 1 million, not even $1 million per month. So the cut was like from 50 million to 1 million, or sometimes like 800,000 US dollars. So you can understand the level of impact that we are having. We are costing the military junta. Of course, we cannot say here in the media how, but what we can say is we are costing the military junta. And then after, of course, this enemy that we are facing is not the enemy that is sleeping. It is the enemy that is trying to destroy our country, our people, and it is making all possible way of genocidal attack against our people. In that sense, they also try to avoid the sanctions. So we closed one way, they try to create another way. We try to close that way. It's like even if you are from village in Chin State or in Burma, you understand there's a red hole. You try to close one red hole and then the rats find another hole. You try to close that hole, but it's a kind of that level of challenges that we are facing. Of course, you know that China and Russia are supporting the military junta in Burma. So that also one of the area that we need to look now is how can we strategically stop or disrupt the level of supporting crime against humanity, because basically if you are supporting the criminal elements, you are also basically say yourself that it's the same as the criminal itself. So to us is that we have to make a message clear that any country, any organizations, any company who are supporting the military regime in Burma is basically supporting crime against humanity and supporting of criminal elements. So one day, sooner or later, justice will be delivered. Meaning that those crimes against humanity that have been committed against the people of Burma will not be tolerant, will not be ignored. The day will come when the justice will be delivered. So it's all there, but that is not the only thing that we are doing. We also have been working very hard to make sure that our voice is heard in Washington, D.C., our voice is heard in London, and our voice is heard in Berlin, and in Paris, in Brussels, in Geneva, or Delhi, or Beijing, or Seoul, or Tokyo, all these places, or in Jakarta, or in Bangkok, or in Kuala Lumpur, we need to make the people of Burma voice heard to this place. So that's also our effort is how much we can make our concerns heard to international community, our neighbor, and at the same time bringing all those voices into comprehensive strategic plan. And so it's quite a lot that we are doing, but of course I cannot say all the detail of what we have been doing, but those are the area that we are actively try our best.
Another question I have is, we heard you're invited by Chin community to visit United States. Why did they invite you, and what is the main purpose and objective of your visit?
Yeah, I'm not coming under specific invitation, so it is my mission to United States of America. So it's not particular organization that invite me. It is my duty and my responsibility to come here and to do this mission trip. So there's a four objective of my visit to United States. Number one is to meet with U.S. government. Number two is to meet with the U.S. Congress. And number three is to meet with our Burmese American community, because they're so important in this to make sure that our voice is heard in Washington, D.C. And number four is really to talk to our people and our leaders here. It's the community to come together, because unity in diversity is our greatest strength. That's the greatest weapon that we have, is unity in diversity. So I'm looking at our Chin State example. I see that if there's no unity, there's no future of Chin people. It's very simple. And I'm crying out every night and see our land, our people have been divided and broken and fragmented. And then there's no future. I don't see future without unity. So one of my visit purpose here is, how can we unite based on common future and based on common ground? We need to be one. We need to be unified. We need to be as one people, as one state, as one common vision. We don't have many Chin state. We have only one Chin state example. If the Chin state is broken into pieces, we all know it will die. And the same, we have only one country. That's Burma. If it's not United States of Burma, USB, I call it USB. Here's USA, United States of America. And the same way, United States of Burma, USB, is very going to be very important. If we cannot have United States of Burma, USB, what is alternative? It's no country. It's very simple. So that's my main focus of my visit here in the United States. Of course, I have met several also United States Congress and Senate, and also have met a lot of meetings with U.S. government officials, and then including think tanks, and it has been very productive visit to Washington, D.C., and I'm very grateful to all the senators and congressmen at the committee, foreign affairs committees, or other select committees in the Congress who have met me. And I'm very grateful to all the U.S. government officials who have met me and who have given me the time, and all the meetings that we have, and all the engagement I have with the DC has made very clear that the United States of America must appoint special envoy to Burma. Otherwise, there's no coordinator, there's no facilitator, and there's no U.S. leadership in our part of the world that basically allowing other country to come and play in Burma, use Burma as a playground. And that cannot be acceptable, because Burma as a country, we need to have a future, we need to have a country. But if we are not having international leadership and coordinated leadership, and at least like-minded country have to come together as one, and coalitions and coordinated on Burma. At the same time, eternally, we all have to come together as one. And one voice, one page, one common future, one country. That's so important that we project that two image National unity means unity in diversity, and VOC international, united international coalition. If the two meet, the victory is there. But if we cannot make that happen, it will be prolong of deaths and destructions, a prolong of pain and suffering, a prolong of these crises and darknesses that our people have endured so much for so long. We can't continue. And we also cannot take it anymore. And we have to break this cycle of darkness. And we have to say enough is enough to these vicious cycles that we have inherited even from our grandparents and to our parents now in our hands. We cannot inherit this vicious cycle of darkness to our children, our grandchildren. It cannot be. We cannot inherit this vicious, brutal military dictatorship to the next generation, and it has to stop. The only way to do that is for us to ask also U.S. leadership here. And we need United States of America stronger leadership, strategically coordinated, comprehensively made with a plan to victory for freedom, victory for democracy, victory for stability in the region. So that's all my engagements has been. That has been the target of my visits to United States of America.
Thank you so much. I want to ask you about a question related to NUG. We heard that the NUG and its allied revolutionary forces have been working to gain international recognition. How successfully has this been so far, and how many countries currently recognize the NUG?
I think that's also really good questions. One of the measurement that we have to also make clear is how many countries accept SAC or the SAC as government of Burma. None. So one hand, as we ask how many countries recognize NUG, the question to be asked is really how many questions and how many countries accept Burma Army as the representative of the people of Burma. So, example, if you look at United Nations, New York headquarters, they accept Ambassador Ujo Mutun as UN permanent representative of Burma to UN. Okay, so means that means Ambassador Ujo Mutun is our ambassador and our voice. So we have got the recognitions. Maybe it's not very direct recognition. So a lot of engagements that we are doing is very silent diplomacy. Meaning that, example, if you think about Burma Act, the United States of America, the Burma Act is the law of the United States of America. And Burma Act recognizes NUG. It recognizes ERO. It recognizes NUCC. It recognizes CRPH, example. And these are political institutions that we have. In fact, NUG is the first government of Burma, legitimate government of Burma, that is the most inclusive. We have got the Christians, we have got the Muslim. In our government, we have got Buddhists, we have got, so just imagine multi-religious, multi-ethnicities, the most inclusive governments. Of course, if you ask if there's a challenge or not, there's a lot of challenge we have. And I think international community recognizes that, our effort. And that's why they engage with us. Example, if you think about other countries around the world, there's no that country that is engaging with the military regime in Burma, example. There's no government official level at the higher than like ambassadorial level giving their credential to Naypyidaw now. They are downgraded into the such affair. But we are engaging as much as possible to the highest level in the government. So we have been engaging with the parliamentarians and the governmentals and the international agencies. I think that also another way of recognition is engagement with us and engagement through us. There's another type of what I believe is recognition, but let us be more practical. Example, we also understand that there's some challenges for many countries just to say, yo, energy is, the government of Burma and this, that. That is going to cause maybe another unforeseen problems on the ground. Example, when it comes to delivery of international assistance and diplomacy on the ground. So we understand that. So basically, I think we have come a long way from where we start. We start from zero. We start from nothing. We don't have resources. We don't have basic things that, example, some of our energy leaders have no travel document, example. So despite of those kind of challenging situations, and I think we have overcome a lot, yet there's a long way to go. There's a long way to go. But we have been here because of the support of the people of Burma, because of the courageous and the bravery of our people. And one thing we can say is we are doing our best. And doing so, we are also sacrificing everything that we can in our own capacities. And I think we have achieved a lot already. Example, if you think about PDF, example, we begin from zero. We begin from zero. And if you think about ethnic relationships, a majority and minority, I think this is the first time in the history of Burma that we have been united in this level. But I think our unity is so much still based on common enemy. And we have to go ahead, further step, united in common vision to the future. That's what is all we have to match to our unity in diversity. And once we can prove to international community that we are united state of Burma, I think that is the moment all government around the world will be rally behind us. But if we are showing this unity among our people, if we are still showing on the ground, we are not united, but we are divided and broken, no one is going to help us. If the house is burning, no neighbor is going to, come and say, it's a fight inside the house. They are not going to come and say, we will help you. But when we are united, where we can prove that we cannot be broken again. And I think that's the time where many governments around the world will say, yes, we are behind you. So that is all of our responsibility to go together to achieve that greater unity among our people.
Thank you so much. Now I want to talk to you about PDF forces. As you mentioned, PDF forces, NUG is ensuring that the People's Defense Forces PDF and revolutionary groups operate in alignment with international standards like the Geneva Conventions. How effective have these efforts has been, and how is the NUG addressing reported irregularities in liberated areas?
I think international law is not only for Burma. International law means Burma is a part of international community. And we are signatory to Geneva Conventions as a state of Burma, means that we are a part of Geneva Convention. So we are in that body of Geneva Convention. So there's obligation for all of our forces. It's not just about PDF. All armed forces in Burma, regardless of what name we have, which area we came from, there is a responsibility, obligation for us to follow and respect and promote international law. Example, very simple thing. No one should be targeting the school. No one should be targeting, example, the women, the children, a vulnerable group, elderly. They are not military objective. No one should be targeting church or place of worship or civilians' homes, or all those things are very much, we talk about international law, but it comes down into common sense. So what we are saying is that the military is bombing the church, the schools, and all name it. Now we have get a record that there is more than 100,000 house, including schools and church and monasteries, a place of worship, and hospitals have been destroyed. And there is a 4+ millions be displaced, mean homeless in their own home. And there's a report coming out by UN say 19.9 million people of Burma need life assistance now. Can you imagine? Why all those starvations and all those things are happening? It's very simple. Because military brutality, this brutal military regime do not follow international law, and they break, and they are using aid as weapons. Imagine transporting rice back from Yangon to Chin State. It's not going to happen because there's a military guard policy, guard of supply, guard of medicine, and there's no immunization to our children now. And we are having 6 million children of Burma cannot go to school. And we are facing lost generation now in front of us. So it's all against of international law, example. It's all against of international principles and values. That's why you will see what happened to Rohingya brothers and sisters. Now, rightly so, Ming Aung Hlaing has been persecuted, and the complaint has been, the file has been filed against Ming Aung Hlaing in ICC to issue arrest warrant. Okay, so what I'm trying to say here is, if we are not following international law, that is basically saying if you break international law, it's war crimes. So the end of the day, law is law. No one is above the law. Means that if any one of us, regardless of NUG or PDF or any other organizations in Burma, if we are found guilty of breaking international law, example, just kill the people, the enemy you arrested or who surrendered to you, you have to treat like human being. You have to give them food and medicine and shuttles. Those are basic human being needed. And if we, example, let's say, somebody, capture some of the enemy and treat it inhumanly, brutally, absolutely, we have to all condemn. We have to call out all of us. I mean, is that is basically against of international law. So that is basically called, say, war crimes has been committed. So why Ming Aung Hlaing Ming Aung Hlaing is in the process of being issued arrest warrant by ICC because he violated, he broke all international law and principles and values. Geneva Convention. So the question to ask all of ourselves is, it's not only Ming Aung Hlaing who is going to be war criminal. It can be me, it can be other people if we break the law. So it is obligation that we all have to respect international law. But even so, NUG as the government representing Burma in outside world, as central government, we are even more responsible to make sure that all of us, regardless of where we stay, where we are living, we have to all respect and promote international law, mean Geneva Convention.
Thank you so much, sir. Dr. Sasa, thank you for answering all the questions I have. Now I will turn to Snow's questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Go Alvin. Thank you, Dr. Sasa, for the opportunity to interview you. It was truly an honor to hear your insight and perspective. My first question will be regarding Myanmar political landscape. What are the potential implications of China involvement? Specifically, how do you view China influence on Northern Alliance and its pressures on ethnic armed organization?
I think there has been a lot of international weaknesses in Burma. Honestly, there's no leaderships of international community of Burma. So I think that also have effectively allowing China to intervene more and more on Burma. And in one way, I feel that our brothers and sisters in northern Shan or Kachin states are being bullied by our big neighbor. That's what's happening. That's exactly how we have been disrespected. We have been treated very badly. That also, I believe that that's exactly what we become when we are not united together as one. And they see that we are fragmented, and they see that there's a strategic failure by international community. Example, I think there is also really weak international leadership of Burma. Again, I think this is also not only the affair of the concern of China or the concern of India or the concern of United States of America. I think it's also the concern of all our regional player, example ASEAN. If you think about ASEAN 5 points, there's no implementation. If you think about UN Security Council Resolution 2669, UN Security Council resolution, it's not small things. And in Security Council, China is also a part of UN Security Council. It has been passed, but there's no implementation at all on the ground. Think about Burma Act. It's in the paper. It's not implemented on the ground. Why there is no implementation of UN Security Council Resolution 2669 of Burma? I think we need to ask this question to UN Security Council member, even so the one who have veto power, even so our neighbors. And I think that's very important. And now because of that failure, I think, there's a really complication here. There's three things. Geopolitical conflicts, which will happen. If they just watch by like this, there will be complication, big complication in the ocean, a bigger complication in South China Sea. Because at the end of the day, that's where international global power competitions are concentrated in that regions. So it has to be solved now. So that's number one. We have to be part of a solution, and we have to have a saying on how to solve these international or geopolitical conflicts. That's number one. Number two is what we are saying is a national conflict between Burma army and the people of Burma, or the military dictatorships and pro-democracy forces, revolutionary forces. That's number two layer. Number three layer is local conflicts, meaning like in each state. We have to start solving what we can solve. Maybe we cannot solve China issue now because it is so bigger than us at the moment. Maybe we cannot solve the whole national problem issue conflict at the moment. It's still far away. What about solving our problem at home? Meaning we need to start solving that problem from the start, from the smaller ones, and go to step by step, day by day. But in terms of, I think, Chinese foreign minister was saying, Burma issue is eternal affair. Burma affair is eternal affair, meaning no external force can be intervene, no international community can intervene, no foreign country can intervene. But effectively, they are intervening it. So that also show that they may be seeing Burma as just a playground. I don't know. And these are the questions that we need to ask. But again, I think one of my concerns is that we may not have a country if we allow to go on and on and on this situation. We have to stand up. We have to unite it. We have to come with strategy how to deal with China, particularly business diplomacy. We need to also really get a clear alternative plan, say to China. This is what will make a win-win situation for us. A win for China, a win for Burma. It's a stability. But again, military is not the solution to bring stability. It's democratic governance that will make the country stability. So a lot of there's criminal elements there. Okay. Example, talk about cyber crimes, talk about drugs trafficking, talk about human trafficking. It's happening there. Who is allowing those criminal elements to happen? Why are they allowing all those criminal elements to happen in our land? Why? In so many years. Think about Sri Coco. Think about all these cyber crimes that has been committed in their border regions. What about drugs problem that have become? So definitely what we can say is that it is not working. If it's not working, who was responsible? It's the military generals. They are responsible for all those criminal elements. And the question also is, who is making them able to do that? So those are all the questions that we need to keep asking again and again when we are trying to, to bring the strategy to make this work. But so to the point, I think we have to stand up to all these criminal elements. We have to say no. We have to say united. We cannot add like group by groups, and there's no united. There's a very what I would say is like one group talking different thing, another group come and say different thing, another group come and say different thing to China. I think that's not what China wants. China wants stability. We understand that, we know it, but we cannot make stability become reality if we are acting in different voice, different strategy, different things. So we have to be one. We have to be one.
Thank you so much. My next question is, how does NUG plan to ensure the inclusions of ethnic minority in shaping the future federal democracy governance structure of Myanmar? Could you share any updates on the draftings of the federal democracy constitutions?
I think it is really important for us to firstly be able to sit down together, okay? So we need to lay the table first. Before we talk about all those big things, okay? We need to really sit down together. Okay, constitution crisis has been again and again and again repeating in our history. Think about Palau Agreement. Okay, even that we do not implement it. Imagine it was that because it was not implemented. And there's a constitution that has been happening in Burma history. Think about 1944, 45, 40, all those constitution coming again in 1974, and now 2008 constitution by the military for the military. Okay, now we have FDC called Federal Democratic Charter. It is not a constitution, it is a charter, meaning laying out the foundations and the principles of the future. Okay, detailed work of constitutions are really important. But the question we have to ask to all of ourselves is, who representing us? How can we have a constitution without having a proper representations of the people? So another issue that we have to really see now is, example, NUG plus CRPH plus NUCC plus ERO plus CSO plus political party. Okay, we have to be able to sit down together. Okay, that's very important. Even if you think about Chin issue, the Chin people, the Chin leader must sit down together before it's too late. We have to sit down together, discuss and dialogue among ourselves about our future. Example, if we do talk about our future, who will talk about our future? If the Chin people do not talk about their future, who will talk about their future? It's not Sakai who will come and Chin and talk about the Chin future. The same is not the Chin who will go to Rakhine and talk about Rakhine future. So self-determination meanings it belongs to you. You have to determine, means you have to think about your future. That is basic principle of federalism is, let's say Chin state example. Chin state must determine Chin healthcare, okay? We should not be waiting for Tanita Ritai to come and create some sort of healthcare system for us. It's not going to happen, believe me. The same education. We should not be waiting, example, for Yangon to come and determine our education future. It's not going to work. So federalisms and constitutions and all this is like, if you think about in one word, a government with people, that's it. Government with the people, by the people, for the people. How can we have a government without people? How can we have constitution without people? It's just, it's going to be a joke, okay? It's not like that. It has to be with the people, by the people, for the people. So anything to do with the constitutions, anything to do with Federalism, anything to do with the future of the people of Burma, has to do with the people of Burma, by the people, for the people. So to make that happen, talk. Okay, that's the thing. Again, we need to lay out the table. I'm asking even United States of America or other country that I have visited. I have been in London, Berlin, so Brussels, Geneva, Paris, now in Washington DC, and New York. I would say, help us to lay out the table for us. That's where we cannot solve those problems in battlefield, okay? We cannot solve those problems by guns. It's not going to work. We only can solve those problems when we sit down together. So the question that we all have to ask ourselves is, when is that day that we can sit down together? So that's very important. So first is, yes, dialogue, yes, discussion, and bring the outcome. Yes, there's a lot of constitutional drafted process. Even some process of constitution have been before we are born. Okay, before this 2021, there's been many years of constitutional elements have been drafted. Till today, we don't have federal democratic constitution. So we cannot, there's one of the Albert, the site is saying, doing the same thing again and again, expecting different result is insane. It's stupidity. Doing again the same thing over again and again, expecting the same result is not going to happen. We have to do things differently now. We are new generation. We are new people. We cannot do the same thing like what the military time has done. We have to change the way how we do things. So I think constitutional is very important. I was in the Columbia University in New York. I was talking to several professor of constitution, departments of law, professor on federalism. Some of them are professor at India Constitution. Some are professor at the conflict resolution. Some are professor at the security sector reform. It's all there. We have got a lot of international experts, but we as a people have to sit down together and just come up with very basic models, example, principles, and foundational way. Okay, there's so many forms of federalism, example. Like Germany federalism is different from French federalism, okay? And decentralization is different from Geneva. Geneva is different from Belgium, Brussels. And the United States of America is different from Canada. As you know, Canada is a prime ministerial parliamentary system, example. But nevertheless, it's a federal democratic country. The United States is a presidential system. And even I was talking to US leaderships. Can you please tell me about electoral college in your election, presidential election? I was not sure if I know about what's the role of electoral college in election. The UK do not have it. So to me, all of those things are the things that we should be asking ourselves. What is the model? Is it strong centralizations or weak centralizations or ultra strong centralizations? So, or strong state governance, strong autonomy, meaning strong in the states or weaker in the central, or where do we meet between or left or right? So all those questions can only be solved when we meet together. So my prayer is that we will be able to make the dialogue and discussion at least among ourselves, NUC plus, NUCC plus, CRPH plus, maybe NLD plus political party, ERO plus, CSO. So those negotiation, those discussion must take place as soon as possible.
Let's turn our focus to Chin State. Our peoples are so eager to hear your insight on the divisions among armed groups, such as the MDF and CDF Mara. As Mara, what step do you believe should be taken to foster reconciliations among these groups?
I think there has been a lot of already brokenization in the Chin state before even we are born, okay? That's my sincere understanding. Example, it's not a Mara issue, it is a Chin issue. So if you think about our Chin state, you know, think about from Didim, Tuzan, Falam, and Hakka, and we've come down a little bit on Matupi, Midat, Palawa, and you know, Kanplat. Just imagine. Can you ever see in our history that how we have been you know, like, I cannot even begin to understand why this vicious cycle of disunity has been allowed to go on and on and on. Now we inherit these very difficult situations, and this could take place. And that the military junta is very clever, smart. They take advantage of it. They divide and rule. It's very simple. So I have been saying to all our people here that if there's no unity, there's no future of Chin. Believe me, okay? It's not about Mara issue. It's about Chin issue. So I think some people a little bit misunderstand that it is like the smaller things of like village to village thing. It has been, this Chin unity issue has been so long go back, even before we are born. And so I think now I have been talking also to a lot of our leaders, particularly church leaders and also political leaders, including Chief Minister of Mizoram State. They are telling me a lot. Different group, different voice, different political agenda. Very simple. Everybody want to be mini kings. Okay? That has to stop. That has to stop. You know, it cannot be like that. We cannot function as, you know, like, so I am also praying very, very hard that our people will realize now that there is no future of Chin people without Chin unity. And if we are united, imagine our people in Australia, our people in Europe, our people in the United States of America. If we have united voices in Washington, D.C. Before I came here, some government official from US asked me, is there any positive development things that you can talk to us? I said, I don't have at the moment, but I will try my best to bring the unity. So as long as we are fighting each other, believe me, no one is going to help us. No one or not. So we should, all of us, it's not only one community problem. It's the problem of Chin State, okay? So I think we all need to play a role. And I'm also talking to the same university professors in Columbia University in New York. Can you please help us to help us to give us international experts on conflict resolution mechanism? Because everybody I talk to are very biased. You know, like, it is very, it saddens me. It broke my heart, actually. It broke my heart. We cannot go like that anymore. We have to stop fighting each other. We have to come with a solution. So, example, what is the Chinland common future? What is Chinland common vision? Is there anybody talking about that? Let us forget a little bit about the whole Burma issue. It's too big. Let us talk about, is there any Chin common vision? Example, let's say, what is Chin common language? Can English become Chin common language? Or what is our common language should be? So those are the issues that we need to discuss each other. If we are not discussing, it's not like the kind state will come say, this will be your common language. No, just very simple things. What is our Chin common future look like? What about local governance? Is the Falam look like? What about local governance in Didim? What about local governance in Twiza? What about local governance in Hakka? What about local governance in Matupi? What about local governance structure in Midats or Kanpalets or Palewa? Who will talk about that example? Or will we spend our time fighting each other and create a problem more and more? Or fueling the fuel on the fire? It's not going to work. So to us, all those can be done only when we sit down together. So I really hope and pray that the day will come sooner than later that the Chin leader must sit down together. There's no other choice. We cannot inherit, pass on these vicious cycles in our history. to the next generation. We cannot ignore it. So we have to lay out the table for our Chin leaders and our Chin community, and then get the right people to come to the table and discuss and talk about our future. Then only be the future. If it's not, then there's no future. So to me, it's a matter of do or die. You do unity or you die without unity. So it's for all of us, any Chin, no matter where we live, that question should be asked to each other. We do or we die. If we don't do it, we will die. Believe me, we will die. You know, like if China getting more and more closer to Indian Ocean, I can tell you, India is not good to just watch by it, okay? And we are not united. And maybe it will be absorbed in front of our eyes and disappear. So those are the reality that we have to face. But we cannot face those challenges. This is not one community problem. This is not one man or one woman problem. It's the problem of the whole Chin people. We all have to participate in the road to unity. Without the Chin unity, no Chin future. If we are united, I think there's the blessing from God waiting us. The blessing I'm talking about. Okay, so I think that has to be our future.
Oh, thank you so much. Lastly, what additional actions do you think the international community should take to further pressures the military junta and support the peoples of Myanmar?
Keep maximum pressure on the military junta in Burma. That's number one. Cut off weapons, cut off finance, cut off legitimacy to the military brutality, the brutal military regime in Burma, because that's number one. Number two, support NUG, support ERO, support CSO, and support NUCC, CRPH, all pro-democracy groups. Meaning, help us to lay out a table for us to come together. That's a very, very important. We need to come together. We need to have common vision for Burma, which I believe is United States of Burma, USB. That is our future, okay? Without that, there's no future. Once internationally, there has to be international coalition on Burma, at least like-minded country. They have to come up with a strong leadership, facilitate dialogue among the progressive movement, and coordinate international community to come as one. Coordinate international community, particularly like-minded country like India or Thailand together, ASEAN, and then free and democratic world. When those two meet each other, common vision of Burma-led, Burma-owned, and international coalitions of like-minded, strategic, comprehensive plan, when those two meet together, victory will be there.
Thank you so much for answering all my questions. Your answers are truly remarkable. I will hand back to Go Alvin. Go Alvin, thank you so much for giving me a chance.
Thank you, Snow. Dr. Sasa, we're at the ending of our interview, and I just want to say thank you very much for joining with us. I know you have been working very busy and it's really hard to find a time for us, so we really appreciate it. Before we conclude our interview, could you please share a few words of encouragement and hopes for the revolutionary soldiers on the ground and the people of Myanmar? What are the steadfastly fighting for the freedom and democracy?
Firstly, I'd like to really say thank you to all the valiant hero of our people and the hero of faith and freedom in Burma. And to all our fallen hero, I like to salute them all. And I know many of our comrades have given their life. And secondly, to all the heroes who are holding the hopes, really the hopes and the future and freedom and faith in the front lines, I like to say thank you to all of our heroes on the front lines of faith and freedom. And thirdly, also, I like to encourage all of our brave people that victory is possible. And victory is coming, and victory belongs to our people. And as you see, the military is losing every day, and as it's clear that the light will prevail against the darkness. We all know it. Nobody need to talk to us. The good will prevail against the evil, right? And at the same thing, justice will prevail against injustice. The same way democracy, federal democracy will prevail tyranny of the evil. So I like and hope and pray that we all identify ourselves in the side of light, and we are indeed the light into the darkness. We are showing our light. We are shining our light in the darkness. So I like all of you to really believe that you are the light to this darkness that has been created by the evil. And lastly, I also like to encourage the young people. You are our future. You are our future. And please do not forget, your people need you. Your country needs you. It must be the purpose, the reason that we are here in this world. It's for the good and to make the better world, to create a better future, better tomorrow. And I really believe tomorrow is going to be better than today. I really believe. But that can only happen if we all are united against the evil, doing good, united against tyranny, for standing up for freedom, united against injustice by delivering together justice, united we stand together against the brutal military regime, brutal military dictatorship, and that is the day when also we will start seeing the light of federal democratic future, a new Burma, United States of Burma, which is a peaceful, which is a prosperous, which is just, and which is stable. So that future is awaiting us. And I used to talk about like Singapore. Singapore used to be, the country that came to Burma say, we want to be like Burma. And now we are the poorest country. And I believe when we come to that, defeat this devil, this evil, that will be the day begin when we will be again ahead of Singapore. Yeah, and again, I believe we will be like Switzerland, be neutral, became stabilizer of global security, stabilizer of regional security, regional economic, as Burma is sitting between China and India. We will play a great role for the whole world when we became like Switzerland. I used to call, we have to become like East Switzerland. There's already West Switzerland. Here, already there. We have to become like East Switzerland. And then here, United States of America, USA, we will become USB, the United States of Burma. That is our future. Let's go together until we reach that destination. We cannot surrender. We cannot give up. We cannot rest. We cannot stop. Let's go together.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sasa. We truly appreciate your analysis and insights on these critical issues. And thank you, and may your efforts continue to inspire and bring hope to the people of Chinland and Myanmar. Thank you so much, sir. We will conclude our interview here. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much for having me.